Greetings, fellow humans. Bad Mark here with another transmission from MechTech Keyboards, and today we're taking a look at a new keyboard from Redragon. Now, I should say a new keyboard model. I've been reviewing Redragon keyboards for a while, but before I started reviewing them, some of the first, besides maybe Yuzu, Redragon was a brand of keyboards that I knew would usually go on sale and was available cheaper than even, say, RK or other brand boards. And even though they were Temu, they worked with the wing latch top Akko switches, so it was easy to mod. They were fun to mod. I took one full size, the K551, and modded it, and it actually got it to sound really good. I've modded a few K552s, and those I ported. So basically, because the first versions, the very first versions came soldered. Then they came with the Temu sleeves, but they were still socketed, so the USB cord was attached. So I basically took out the USB cord and made as clean of a entrance as I could into the back and replaced the internal USB cable with a USB-C end. And then some time ago, I actually bought this. I came across this on a listing, and I was like, oh, I just got to have it. It's the K552. I don't know why I put a piece of tape over the logo, but I could just remove it. But I still actually plan to do a whole video on it. I just haven't had the opportunity. But it's already ported. It actually comes with foam between the plate and the PCB. It's still a tray-mounted steel plate, but I know I was able to get some of the original K552s to sound really nice, so this is going to be a project board that I will come back to at some point in the future. But today we're taking a look at the Starblade Pro, and this is the, I want to say it's the K707, and I believe from what one of somebody that commented on a previous video, they mentioned that there was 4 different ones, and the last one they mentioned was this one, and I'm like, this is the one, yeah, K707 AK. So this is the 3-mode, the Pro. Usually Pro and Max with Redragon means that they have 3-mode functionality. It is RGB, it is a TKL, and if I'm not mistaken, it might actually be gasket mounted, but yep, gasket mounted design. Yep. So it's going to be the first TKL from Redragon that I've tested that has gasket mounting. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it, because I'm excited to check it out. And it does have this character, and I guess I should know, because I know I was called out the last time I did a Redragon one, and apparently these are known characters. And I mean, I was big into anime in the 90s, actually starting in the late 80s with Akira, but I just don't have the chance to keep up with it. So be patient with me, share with me, let me know who, if this is a known character, let me know who it is so I can learn, instead of just like, hey, why don't you know? I can't keep up with everything. There's just not enough time. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it and see what we got. As always, I do like to take a look at what's in the box before taking a look at the keyboard. We have our sheet of stickers that comes with every Redragon. One of these days, I will be making a sticker bomb Redragon board, doing a full mod, and then just covering it up with Redragon stickers and just Redragoning it up and making it sound as good as possible. Because there are some Redragons that really, if you put the right mods into it, they can sound amazing and just be pretty good keyboards. I mean, I have plenty of them. I've modded a lot of them, and I've really been able to reach max, especially with the particular design. We have a user manual that's going to give us all the keys, what they're mapped to, and how to work it. We have a pocket for a 2.4 with top light is a caps lock indicator, mode indicator, and then the battery charge indicator. Now this is the Pro, and usually the Pro versions have access to Redragon Pro software. It's basically 2, a basic one and a Pro one. Pro one usually allows per key RGB, basic macros, stuff like that, but we'll take a look at it when we get there. In the box, we also have a rubberized USB-C to USB-A cable, a standard wire switch and keycap puller, and as Redragon almost always does, a few extra switches, which is always appreciated. In a hot swap board, you never know, you could be changing something out, the pin breaks on accident, and we have, mint Mambos. These are a nice Poppy linear from Redragon. I'm not sure who manufactures them, but they're 5-pin, but they still fit in the older Otemu sleeve style sockets. You just have to cut off the extra plastic legs in case it doesn't have the holes. Though some of them I did see, but they have a nice bottom mount, nice classy bottom mount. So this keyboard should sound pretty good. And here we are with the Redragon K707 Starblade Pro 3-mode TKL keyboard from Redragon with a gasket mount. Yep, we can feel it. It is not super bouncy. It's firm but giving, and that's exactly how I like it. Looks like we have a 2-part construction, although I don't think this is the actual plate. Let's check out what we've got under here. It's funny, this is actually a welcome change. So many manufacturers have switched to south facing, even though a lot of switch manufacturers have corrected the moldings. Not all of them, but many have corrected the switch moldings so that they no longer interfere whether they're south or north facing. It doesn't matter. There are a lot of keyboards now that include alternate layouts where you actually have to put, the switch upside down, sideways, in order for it to use that alternate layout. Lately, I've been receiving a lot of queries about people looking for specifically, other layouts as well, but the most asked for is, do you know of a good north-facing TKL? And here I can add, I only got a couple on the list that I can recommend, but this one, it looks like it has a PC plate, or is it a PP plate? I'll have to look that up. But we have 5-pin, and we have north-facing LEDs, so if you want to get shine-through keycaps that have the legend shine-through on the top, this is going to be compatible with that. So, but we have what looks to be a nice die subset. Let's see how thick these are. All right, these are coming in at 1.4 millimeters for die sub PBT keycaps. That's a good thickness, so they should sound pretty good on here. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a look at these stabilizers. I think that's a PP plate, but I'll have to actually look when we do the specs. Oh, that one. These are well attached, that's for sure. The tolerances are very tight. And these are the newer stabilizers. They're made out of palm, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they have pads right there. We have lubrication on the elbows of the wire, as well as on the inside of the stab and the housing. So the biggest points of friction are taken care of. And as expected, I didn't really expect the Redragon to have, although there are a couple that I'll be reviewing here shortly that actually may surprise me, but I don't know because I haven't opened them up yet. Anyway, we do not have support for screw-in stabilizers, but thankfully, as I said, these are some quite well attached stabilizers, and they're out of that newer, like I said, what I assume is palm. Now, you could probably silence them just a little bit more with a pad, or of whether it be tape or something else to just soften the downstroke, but I don't think that's going to make it'll make a difference, but I don't think it's going to affect the stock sound of this keyboard. Let's see. Now, in my opinion, that sounds really good for a stock keyboard. It sounds amazing for a stock Redragon keyboard. Like I said, I've been working with Redragon for quite some time now, because like I said, I started modding Redragon boards. Redragon's one of the first companies I reached out to, and they were willing to work with me when I was just starting out. And I've always been honest. You know, if I find things, oh, you know, I don't like this, or this could have been done differently, or whatever, they have never like dinged me or like, hey, called me out, like, well, why did you call this out? Like, if nothing else, they have given me positive feedback, and they've said, thank you for pointing that issue out. Thank you for communicating that. Because I always try to remain respectful. I know there's, you know, behind every product, whether it be a keyboard, an electronic item, practically anything else, there's people behind it. There's people who designed it. There's people that put it together. They made decisions about this and that. I understand that. And I mean, just because I may not like a keyboard doesn't mean that I'm not angry with anybody. I don't know. Some people get a little maybe over passionate about certain things, but my point is that I've worked with Redragon. I've always been able to be very upfront with them, give them my opinion. I'd like to believe that I will be reviewing. I've got them here, the QMK VIA versions of a couple of their keyboards. I mean, and I'd like to believe I was one of the voices that, you know, reached out to them, because I mean, I did bring it up. I'm like, hey, is there ever any chance you guys are going to do a QMK VIA keyboard? And I brought that up since the beginning. So maybe I hammered it home enough. I don't know. Like I said, I still have to test those out. I want to give them the proper run for the money. But like I said, this one is not one of them. It's a 60% and a 75%, I believe, of the QMK versions. But there's also a couple other ones they're getting ready to do that are also going to be of surprise, I think, to a lot of Redragon. A lot of those people, a lot of you out there familiar with Redragon, and even those that may not be as familiar, but you may actually be more interested in the Redragon. But anyway, let's focus on this one. This is the Starblade Pro. It's got a nice weight. I gotta say, I actually like that blue rose design. There was a character, a villain, the Rose, in Spider-Man comics. If I'm not mistaken, he was the Kingpin's son. But he always used the rose and kept it cool, like not, like cheesy, I should say. So I've always had an appreciation for rose, for the symbolism. And honestly, I love the smell of rose. Like there's a lot of like perfumes, and even there's dishes, potpourri, that they're just too oversensitive to, and it just makes me sneeze. I go into sneezing fits. But tea rose and rose oil is something that I've always enjoyed the smell of. Anyway, so that's a cool design. I'm gonna assume that probably has something to do with the character that, like I said, I'm not sure of. Like I said, if you guys want to let me know down in the comment section below. I'll gladly look it up and update it when I come back, because I'll probably come back to this keyboard to mod it. It does have, like I said, a really nice set of keycaps. They are OEM though. I'm more preferential if I'm going to do tall keycaps. I like SA keycaps. I already know a couple of keycap sets that would look really nice with this baby blue that it has on the top. As we saw below, we have a pocket for the USB 2.4, and it is in there quite well. I need something to help pry it out. The first time I would use something plastic. I wouldn't use anything metal. You don't want to bend it, but it's in there. On the back, we have 2.4 Bluetooth. Off is just going to be wired. We also have a dedicated mode switch for OS. So if your Windows key isn't working, but your Alt key is acting like your Windows key, then it's because you're in Mac mode. Just switch it back over to Windows and you'll be fine. Turning it on into Bluetooth mode. Wanted to see how nice the RGB shines. It's not look like we have the caps lock over here, but it's trying to come on, but since it's not connected, it's like, hey, you gotta connect me first. All right, so the Bluetooth device locations are in the numbers 1, 2, and 3. So let's press it, hold, and we see the mode. That should start blinking fast. All right, so let's check out the system settings here. I see a Bluetooth 5.0 keyboard. It's still in pairing mode. And it's connected. All right, yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty fast, I must say. So, got function insert to go through a number of light effects. And if we find a static one or one that uses colors, like a single color, let's see that one? Yeah, like the rainbow, then we can go through and use function delete to cycle through the colors. Honestly, it's not a bad TKL whatsoever. You got a gamer in your life, you got somebody that loves anime, if you got somebody that wants to get started with mechanical keyboards, you've got somebody that wants shine through keycaps, if they're even looking into changing out the keycaps. This checks a lot of boxes for a lot of people based on, like I said, we receive a lot of queries. I actually purposely in other subs set up a question and answer thread just to help people out, because I mean, people that don't know, and I mean, sometimes people think that it's just a stupid question, but it's like, if you don't know it, it's not a stupid question. You're trying to learn. I mean, so you're asking a question so that, because you're confused, you may have read one thing that makes you think that it's this, but you read a couple other things that makes you think that it's that, so you're not clear. And sometimes just reaching out and asking somebody is just easier than going on Google, so I understand. Anyway, this is honestly a decent keyboard, one that I know several people that, you know, don't want to spend too much money, but would like to or have gotten into the mechanical keyboard, you know, maybe just dip their toes, not really get the full in, but that, you know, a lot, if they don't have the full size, they get the TKL and usually will get like either a matching number pad or one that's, you know, as close to matching as possible, so that they can use the keycap set, pull out the number pad when and if they want to use it. But a lot of people have been very happy with the TKL. I think it's a good transition board because, you know, I mean, you really have just taken off the number pad, removed it, and everything else is going to be exactly where they expect it to be. And for some people, that familiarity is important. So I understand. I think, like I said, because being that this is a gasket mount, again, it's not crazy flexy, but it definitely has give. It's it probably could be flexier when I come back to it, which I definitely will. As like I said, I even bought a tray mounted one because I just love it. Now I've got some ideas for that one, but that's for another video. I really think that I could, I mean, like I said, it sounds pretty good stock in my opinion, but I really think that I could take this and really make it a deeper sounding, nice 3-mode keyboard. Just the specs. Today we were taking a look at the Redragon K707 Starblade Pro, a 3-mode TKL from Redragon. It has a gasket-mounted PC plate, as well as a north-facing 3 and 5-pin hot swap compatible PCB with hi-fi layers, meaning the PET and the IXPE layer above the PCB, and it's also well dampened. It comes preloaded with Mint Mambo linear switches, die-sub PBT OEM anime keycaps that come measuring in at 1.4 millimeters. It is preloaded with a 4,000 milliamp hour capacity battery and weighs in at 888 grams. The chin of this keyboard sits at 22 millimeters, while the back sits at 27 millimeters, providing for a default typing angle of 5 degrees. Flipping out the middle set of feet will take the back height up to 29 millimeters, changing your angle of typing to 7 degrees. Flipping down the final set of feet will take the back height to 40 millimeters, changing the angle of typing to 11 degrees. The MSRP on this keyboard is $69.99, though it is currently on sale on Redragon's site for $55.99. Links below. All right, so for the software for this one, we just go to the redragonshop.com software pages. We can download both the user guide and the software. But as it says on the product page, this has the pro version of the software. It will come up and say that Windows protected your PC because it's an unknown publisher. The install is pretty standard. Then we come up to the main screen showing us that we have our default layer, our function 1 layer, our function 2 layer, and we have tap functionality, which is in effect another layer where we can tap to get one key and then hold to get another one. We have a pretty basic RGB light effect selector. Remember always to hit the save floppy in case, so that it will get saved to the keyboard. And you also have per key RGB. We have your basic macro editor. You can add macros, you can type them out, you can edit it, you can save them, you can organize them in folders. And then we have the device info showing us the model that we have, the firmware we're running, the software version. We can change the languages. We can have the driver start up at beginning. We can turn on and off sleep. We can adjust the sensitivity for tap. And if we happen to have issues with double typing or missing types, we can adjust the debounce. So we have a really decent TKL. Honestly, I continue to be impressed more and more with the keyboards that Redragon is putting out. Like I said, they are definitely listening to the customers. I'd like to believe I've had some part in it because they've allowed me to be honest. Like, hey, this is, probably could be done better this way, or why not try this? Whether it's just me or it's myself and other creators and customers, whatever, they are definitely listening. And they are making moves in the right direction. They're still keeping their prices affordable. I mean, this one, I know it MSRPs, but it's currently on sale for $55.99. And I've seen it lower than that for Black Friday. I want to say it was 40 or 45. I can't recall at the moment. But you can use my discount code below, or you can just go to the website. And if you sign up for their newsletter, I believe you get a 10% discount as well. So there's really good discounts that you can get and get a really good price on some of their keyboards, or on all of their keyboards, I should say. They also have mice and headsets and everything like that. I know a lot of people have asked me to start getting into mice, and I don't know if I'm ready to jump down a whole nother rabbit hole. I still got a whole bunch of projects I got to finish when it comes to this, and I'll be starting my Linux channel this year. Anyway, we have a lovely TKL. I've actually been using it for roughly a day worth of work, and it's quite pleasant. I do like the first set of feet because it gives me the 7-degree angle, so that for me, that's perfect. All in all, I think that this is a very nice TKL. Again, taking a look at where Redragon has come, there's a huge difference. I mean, here's a steel plate. Here's a PC plate. This is tray mounted. This is gasket mounted. Granted, this was the only K552 I've seen with actual 5-pin. This one's going to be a project one of these days, but this one I'll come back to. I definitely will want to mod it. I like that this has the hi-fi layers already. I like that it has the pro software, because the pro software, it's not that bad. I mean, yes, there are better closed source software out there, but when it comes to programming, it allows you to do the per key RGB. The macro doesn't seem to have a limit, or at least not one that I have found as of yet. And technically with tap, you have 3 effective layers, but you actually have 2 function layers. So obviously in a TKL, you may not need that many keys unless you want to actually add your numpad as a function and have a switch. I think they're all momentary. I don't think they have a layer toggle. I'll have to actually take a look at that. Anyway, I'm going to leave everyone with a stock sound test of this K707 from Redragon. This is the Pro Starblade edition, anime. Like I said, Iriel, I think. If I'm mistaken, please let me know. For now, I do hope that you enjoyed the sound test and the review. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions for when I come back to it, please let me know, as always, down in the comment section below. I do my best to respond to each and every comment as quickly as possible. I just want to wish all of you a wonderful day, and until the next transmission, keep calm and keep moving on.